listening to the words of the Guru. You are meditating upon the words of the Guru as per the scripture. So Guru is expounding the scripture, which is the pramanam for knowing the Atma. So with your eyes closed, you are listening to these words carefully, with great attention, devotion and surrender. So when you are not hearing the words, you are reflecting upon the words you have heard. So it is said the Atman sees everything, but nothing can see the Atman. Meaning that Atman is a subject which perceives objects. Objects cannot perceive the Atman. Perception includes all sense activities, touching, smelling, tasting and all that. So Atman perceives thoughts, objects, sense organs, but sense organs cannot perceive the Atman. Thoughts cannot objectify the Atman. And Atman is the same in all beings. Brahmagi Stamba Paryantam. So you have to munch those words. You have to chew those words. Try to understand the signification of those words. Atma perceives, nothing can perceive the Atman. Atma is Swayam Jyoti. Atman is revealed in its own light. And this Atman is truth, the only truth, the only fact, the only source of happiness. And the mechanism of perceiving things, Atman reflected in the mind and the reflector consciousness shooting through the sense organs, revealing objects outside. And the objects outside, the sense organs and the mind, all are made up of trigunas. And trigunas are a slight disturbance in the Atma. So the Vedanta ties up everything. There is nothing to be explained further. Thus the Vedantic vision is an integral vision of the subject and the object. And to undertake this inquiry, one has to quieten the mind by detachment. Detachment means you are not seeking happiness in the world. When you don't seek happiness in the world, you realize your natural happiness. The others are pseudo happiness. So the truth, happiness and consciousness are the same. Truth is consciousness, consciousness is happiness. And that you are. Ahamasmi sada bhami. And once you know this truth, your own essential nature, there is no fear. You become totally fearless. In that state of fearlessness, you experience health and creative energies. You may live longer than otherwise you would have. So this Atman become the object of our pursuit. At the end of the day, we realize we have been searching ourselves. Which is called aparochanubhuti. You come to know yourself, by yourself, in yourself. Atmana atmanam atmani. In that state, the world is seen as Maya or Mithya, meaning the world is not separate from you, the consciousness. World has no independent existence. Kasariram sharireshu anavastesha avastitam. So you have no bounded body. You are unbounded. You are the changeless in the midst of all changes. You are imperishable, inexhaustible, indivisible, invisible. So that avabodham, atma avabodham, is what is required. So attachment to objects, the body and thoughts and the ego is a reason for bondage. When you are not attached to them, you see them as an instrument, a vehicle of self-expression. So self-realization means self-expression, fully expressing your creative impulses happily. So Isha Darshanam, Atma Darshanam, Ramana Maharshi. To see God is to realize oneself. Ishajevayoho veshadhipita veshahanada swatmadarshanam. The difference between Ishvara and Jiva is only the conditioning, the vesha. When the vesha is seen as mithya or maya, then there is no difference between Ishvara whom you are seeking and Jiva the seeker. So reflect on these words of the Upanishads conveyed by the Master. So Anubhava Paryantam Shravanam. Till you realize this truth, you continue to listen. And hence you practice detachment, non-expectation. Non-reaction, non-judgment. So that you can pull out the appropriate response. And a realistic judgment about things. And instead of expecting, you can express your true nature. Expectation is covering the Atman. Expression is unleashing the Atman. Uncovering the Atman. And with this self-realization, you will have enough resource to deal with the Maya Prapancham, the dynamic, ever-changing world with the full of paradoxes, conflicts. Because you are out of the problem. When you are in the midst of the problem, you become the problem. When you are out of the problem, you become the solution to the problem. So you stand outside the problem by observing the problem. Then there is a better diagnosis and better medication or meditation. So as they say, you can be in the balcony as well as on the dancing floor. You can enjoy the world without becoming a victim of the world. You can enjoy the sunrise without trying to swallow up the sun, like Hanuman did. So you are no more a consumer. You don't want to dominate, control, and digest the other. You coexist. So these are the practical manifestations of self-realization. You are a tapasvi, minimum consumption. You take minimum, you consume minimum. And life becomes an experiment with how much less you need to lead a dignified, graceful life and healthy life. So this realization is after practicing karma yoga, bhakti yoga and upasanas. Through that you develop humility, non-reaction and focus. Thereafter, whatever you say is Bhagavatam or the Vedas. Whatever you do is God's work. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranadosmyam Jandunam Narajanmadurlabhamatap Pumstum Tado Viprada Tasmad Vaidika Dharma Marga Varada Vidudvamasmat Param Atmanatma Vivejanam Sunubhavo Brahmatmana Samstitihi Tirno Shata Janma Bodhi Sute Punir Vina Lepyade Dullabham Trayame Vedad Devanukraha Hedugam Mumuchuttum Manushyattum Mahapurusha Samshraya Ko Nama Bantha Kadamesha Agada Kadam Pradishtasya Kadam Vimucha Ko Savanatma परमकात्मा तयो विवेकः कथमेतदुच्यते. So 126th sloka, 126th. Adhate sampravachyami swarupam paramatmanah yadvijñāya narodbandhād mukta kaivalyamasnude. So Guru says, now I will expose you to the nature of the Atman. Sarupam paramatmanah sampravachyami. I will explain it in lower into detail, in a simple way, sampravachyami. So I'll explain such a way that you understand. That's the way I am going to do, sampravachyami. Yad vijñāya naraha, knowing which bandhat muktaha kaivalyamasnude. You are liberated from suffering, dukkha, that sense of suffocation, sense of miserliness. You will be free. You can breathe free thereafter. Otherwise you feel you are sitting in a confined space. Let's say you can get up and dance. The Brahmajnani dances. He dances on the floor. At the same time, observe from the balcony. Both is possible. Both is possible. So, what is this Atman astikashchis swayam nityam aham pratyaya lambanaha avastatraya sakshi sanna panchakosha vilakshanaha. All this aham pratyaya lambanaha, it is indicated by the I experience. Aham pratyaya, which is there. You always have the I experience. And then avastatraya sakshi, witness of the three states of experience, Jagrata, Sapna, Sushupti, Panchavosha Vilakshana, beyond the five koshas, which we will be explaining later. And some of you already know that, what are the koshas. Because that is what you are at this point. The kosha is what you are at this point. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, this is what you are identified with. So we are trying to extricate you from that and make you see who you really are. Remove all the mask, all the garment, all the makeup, so that you know your essential nature. Then you can put on the makeup, all the garments, you can do that. Because you want to play certain roles in the world. So, yo vijanati sakalam jakra sapna sushuptishu buddhitat vritti sadbhavam abhavam ahamityayam. So, I am aham, this I illumines everything, because the nature is light, love, consciousness. Therefore, it illumines. What are is illuminating? Sagalam jagra swapna sushuptishu. Whatever all the vrittis which happen in jagra swapna sushupti. Even sushupti there is a vritti, is a ajnana vritti. I don't know. That's a vritti, sushupti, ajnana vritti. That's a mode of the mind. I don't know mode of the mind. So sometimes if I give you a talk on Vedanta in Chinese, let us say, Chinese language. Out of respect for the Swami, you sat there and heard the whole thing, shook your head also, as though you are understanding. But at the end of the day, what is the vritti in the mind? I did not know anything. That's a continuous vritti. Ajnana vritti, we say. So there are certain states where you don't know ajnana vritti. There are certain states you know jnana vritti also. But that is khandagara. Jnana vritti, ghada vritti, pada vritti, mada vritti and all that. Khandagara vritti. All these are illumined by jnana vritti, everything is illumined in consciousness. Just as there is light I see, darkness also I see, isn't it? I see there is darkness. I know it. I know what I know what I don't know. How do you know? You don't know. Oh, that I know. Isn't it? You know that I don't know. You know, I know. Both are, these are no, don't know is a vrittis, which is shining in consciousness, he says. So, buddhi tadbrutti sadbhavam abhavam ayam aham vidhi. So I know all this. You cannot escape. Continuing. Yap pashyati swayam sarvam yanna pashyati kinchana yaschedayadis buddhyadi na tadyam chedayatyayam. So the last half, the last line, the later half, na tad yam chedayadi ayam. So there you can write ayam, yam, meaning that Atma cannot be or cannot be made an object. Tad means buddhyadi, the buddhi. The buddhi doesn't chedayadi, doesn't illumine. Ayam, yam, this Atma. The buddhi doesn't illumine at all. Atman illumines the buddhi. Buddhi doesn't illumine the Atman. Buddhi cannot objectify the Atman. So therefore all those buddhijivis, those who pride themselves are public intellectuals, they have an opinion about everything, but they know nothing. When you don't know, you give this opinion. The truth is not known. This kind of intellectual, because intellect cannot know the truth. Those people are humble. They may know the truth. They may know the truth. So the intellectual can have a lot of words, isn't it? Shabda kolahal. They can make a lot of shabda kolahal. No appreciation of the truth, you see. Those who know the truth, they keep quiet. Those who don't know the truth, they keep on talking. Talking. Others talking brought me here, you say. A kind of situation. Then, yena vishwamidam vyaptam yamna vyapnodi kinchana abharubamidam sarvam yambandamanubatyayam. So idam sarvam abharubam. Everything is dark, unless there is the light of consciousness, you say. So it's very interesting. Ultimately, the Vedanta is taking you to that oceanic consciousness. That is the objective, the oceanic consciousness. Even it takes you further. It's not only the oceanic consciousness, I am that oceanic. That's the last port of call. Not only everything is pure consciousness, I realize, surprisingly, to my utter surprise, that I am that consciousness. Up to that you have to go. So Sada Chida Anandam Sudandram Hradam Shivam Sundaram. This is me. So I am the most beautiful, he says. I am the most beautiful, I am free, and I am consciousness. I support the whole world, including my body and my enemy's body also. Both are manifesting in consciousness. So that kind of a unity, integral vision. Abharubamidam sarvam. So consciousness nature is abha. Abha. Bha means light. Abha means self-luminous. Abha. Total light. That is nature of consciousness, that I am. And you are repeating this. You are repeating it every moment. That's my nature. This is my nature. You are repeating it. When you repeat it, you will go deep into your psyche, he says, when you repeat it. Like Ayurveda treatment, you have to massage. So the Guru is massaging you with these words. Guru is massaging you, these words become massage for you, and it goes deep into your system. Even in sleep, this knowledge is not leaving you, you say. That's the beauty of this. Yasya sannidhi matrena devindriya manodhiya vishayeshu sagiyeshu. That's why he says, Guru is a masseur, he says. He massages. It's very interesting. Heart surgeons are known as plumbers, divine plumbers, isn't it? They open the blocks in you, plumber, heart surgeon, divine plumber. Brain surgeons are the electricians. They create the flow of electricity in the synapses. And bone surgeon, knee surgeon, and they are carpenters. They cut and paste. And gurus are masseurs. They do massage. They are massaging you with the words. They are massaging you. And to massage, you have to undress, isn't it? So undress means you have to be detached from the body, mind and ego complex. Then alone the massage will work. So this way you can trivialize these activities. Carpenter, plumber, electrician and masseurs and all that. So he is repeating the same thing. You find a lot of repetition here. And sometimes you get bored. I know this only. Why are you again repeating it? It has to be repeated. You have to lie down there, let the Guru massage it. Let's keep on happening. Continuing. Yasya sannidhi matrena देहेन्द्रिय मनोधियः विषयेषु स्वगीयेषु वर्तन्ते प्रेरिता इव सन्निधि मात्रेण Atman is agartha bhokta, he said. Atman doesn't do anything. And Atman doesn't enjoy anything also. Or consume anything, let me use that. Atman is agartha abhokta. But in his presence, the Prakriti is active, is doing everything. So, Prakrutehe kriyamanani karmani, Prakrutehe gunaihi kriyamanani karmani sarvashaha. The Prakriti is doing it like a magnet. Atman is the magnet and the Prakriti is iron filings, it is dancing around that. And where does the Prakriti come from? Is it separate from Atman? No way. Prakriti is Atman's expression, he said. Atman's flowering is Prakriti. So Atman brings this Prakriti is existent, then enters into the Prakriti. How is that? So you build a house, then enters into the house. Tasrishtva tadevanu pravishadi. Creating it. So there the Vedanta dissolves the duality of Prakriti and Purusha. Vedanta does two things. One is dissolve the duality between Prakriti and Purusha, and also Purusha Bahulyam. There are many Purushas. That idea also dissolved. There is only one Purusha, and the Prakriti is only an expression of the Purusha by a desire. So Kamayada, Ichada, just by a look, it creates it. So that's how we say it is all Advaitam, oneness. Yasya sannidhi matrena dehendriya manodhiyaha vishayeshu sugiyeshu vartande. In the presence of the Atman, sense organs become active and it perceives sense objects, and then thoughts are created and the whole drama unfolds. Continuing. Ahankaradi dehamdaha vishayascha sukhadayaha vedyande khadavadyena Bodha Swarupina. So the whole universe is reduced to a pot. Like a pot maker makes a pot from clay. So the whole universe is like a pot. Vedyam Ghadavadyena. You can call it a pot or a tree or a horse. Sometimes in the Barhadarniya there is a horse meditation. The whole universe is reduced to a horse. After the horse sacrifice, Ashwamedham, after horse sacrifice, after some time the Rishi said, horse sacrifice is not necessary. You don't have to cut the horse and take the wafa of the horse and put it in fire and smell it, not necessary. That is very cruel. You just meditate on the horse as the universe. So expand the idea of the horse to include the whole universe. That's all what you have to do. Horse meditation. Or Vrikshakalpana. In the 15th chapter, Urdhamulam Adashagam Vrikshakalpa. Or Pashu, a cow. The universe is considered as a cow. The Dharma, cow. The cow has 4 legs, 4 dharmas. And that way, cow is represented. Cow is a representation of the whole universe. Or Purusha, Purusha Kalpana is there. Sahasra Shesha, Purusha, Sahasrasha, Sahasrabad, Bhumim, Vishwado, Vishnu, or Devi. The whole universe is conceived as a Devi, he says. Or you can do Ganesha also, or Hanuman, or Vishnu. Vishnu lying on the serpent and Garuda and then Lakshmi and then Saptarishis and Shiva and Brahma looking at Vishnu, and then the whole thing is floating, and Vishnu is Yoga Nidra, Ananda Shayan. He is not sleeping, but he is listening everything or seeing everything. In his mind, he is seeing everything. And then the whole thing is floating in the ocean of milk. Where does the milk float? We don't know. Don't ask further questions, he said. By the time you are tired. So this is the story we hear. So ahangaradi dehandan vishayan sha sugadayaha vedyante ghadavadyena. Like a pot, you see the pot and you are beyond the pot. Similarly, you are beyond the whole world. Nitya bodha sarupina vedyante. It is in the light of consciousness you know all that. Now, what is this consciousness? Is it a product of the brain? That's one idea. Through evolution, the brain developed. Brain is the latest and the most complex machinery that nature has produced. So the brain, there are cells or neurons and synapses and all kind of things in the brain. So the brain in their activity or processes, consciousness emerges. That's one idea. The consciousness is a latest evolute. Whereas we say consciousness was the oldest. It is the first. Everything comes later. So these are the two contentions about consciousness, contending ideas about consciousness. The materials say consciousness is a byproduct. Even Charvakas say the same thing. And they give an example also. If you, when you eat a pan, chew pan, green leaf and brown nut and white lime, everything put together, it produces a new color, red color. The red color was not in the green leaf, not in the brown nut, not in the white lime, but when you mix together, this thing emerges. It was not there before. So similarly, consciousness is an emergent phenomenon. Whereas Vedanta says consciousness is fundamental. Everything comes from consciousness. So the panpsychism, consciousness is there in everything. Brahmadi stambhavaryandam. Even this table, there is consciousness, but it's not revealed. There is satyatvam in this. This is one expression of truth. And truth, consciousness, happiness coexist. One and the same thing. But that aspect of happiness and consciousness is not revealed. It is hidden. That's the only thing. It is hidden. But at least when you see the table, you are happy, isn't it? My table, I am very happy. You are aware of the table. So therefore, everything that exists in the world is an expression of consciousness. That Sarvam Vishnumayam Jagada, Shivamayam Jagada, Chinmayam Jagada. That's the meaning of that expression. Chinmayam, Vishnumayam, Shivamayam Jagada. Continuing. Eshondaratma Purusha Puranaha Nirandara khanda sukhanubhudihi Sadaigarupa pratibodha matraha Yene shida vakasavasharandi. So Antaratma, Purushaha, Puranaha is always new. Consciousness doesn't become old. Nirandara khanda sukhanubhuti, non-stop happiness. Sada egarupaha, one thing it doesn't undergo modification. Pratibodha matraha, bodham prativartade. It is there behind every thought, he says. Bodham prativartade. Oh, Guruna pratibodhita matra, an additional example. This Atman can be realized only by the help of the teacher, he says. You yourself sitting under a tree and shaking your nose, you don't realize it. You go to sleep, that's it. You go to sleep. Or some funny feelings come to you. So, pratibodha matra, yaneshida vakasavasharandi. Vak means all the organs of action, organs of perception, and savaha, all the pranas, all function in the presence of the Atman. Atraiva sattvatmanidhi guhaya avyagrita akasha uruprakashaha akasha uchai ravivat prakashade sudejasa vishwamidam prakashayan. So meditate on the Atman in the cave of your heart, where the I feeling arises, where you abide when you are in deep sleep. That space you meditate. Sometimes you say Dakshinakshi Purusha, meditate Atman in the corner of the right eye, or in the heart or you can meditate in various chakras. Depending upon your interest, you can meditate on various chakras. So Dejasa Vishwamidam Prakashayana. So we have seen all this. Next. So the Atman is compared to a sun. Not one sun, 1,000 suns. Divisurya Sakasrasya Bhaved Yuga Baduddhida. Like 1,000, millions of suns simultaneously. Sometimes you experience that in this way. Some millions of suns, millions of lotuses, millions of serpents with their forked tongue and bulging eyes. Sometimes you see that. Sometimes you see a lot of cows, elephants in this meditation. Somebody was telling me, I see Garuda, this eagle flying all over. I said, good for you. Good for you. Keep seeing it. Good for you. And sometimes you don't see it also. When you want to see it, you don't see it. When you don't want to, you will see that. Sometimes you see elephant. So, this kind of rasaswadam na kuryat. Gaudapada says, when this experience comes, don't get stuck there. Don't get stuck there. This can be side of distractions for you. You keep detached from that one and then go ahead. Now, jnata manoham grudi vikriyanam dehendriya pranakrita kriyanam ayogrivattan anuvartamanaha nacheshtadeno vigarodi kinchana. It's a very interesting concept. Atman na cheshtade. There is no movement at all. It is still. And still it is reflecting, illuminating everything. Like Vishnu, lying, doing nothing, but he is in charge of the whole universe, isn't he? Vishnu is in charge of the whole universe. He will come down only when it is absolutely necessary. Otherwise, he is very patient. Very patient. He will allow everything to work out by itself, if possible. If it is absolutely necessary, Vishnu will come down. In which form? Depending upon the problem, he says. Alsya Kurma, Varaha and all that. So otherwise, it is absolutely cut. So Atman is very still, very full. When you are full, you are still. Like a distant hill, as they say. When you're full, you are still. And it's kind of cryogenic energy, I should say. Very cool energy, which is more lasting. Very cool energy, Atma. So, na vikarodi, na cheshtade. There is one Upanishad, without moving, he is everywhere, he says. Sitting, he goes everywhere. All kind of this paradoxical expression. Sitting is everywhere. Without doing, he does everything. He or she, whichever way you want to prefix the Atman or whatever, he, she, they, whichever word you want to use. So he is everywhere. So the karodi na kinchana. In our experience, we can say, I don't feel tired. I am very active, morning till evening, but I am not tired. I am not tired. I don't retire, I only retire, as they say. I am not retiring. Retirement is not my dictionary. It is not my dictionary. And if my body is totally inactive, doesn't work, then I abide in the Atman. I remain as the Atman. Think about all the time. Niranthanaiva analaha. No fuel, but the fire is there. In me, the fire is there. The body lying down like a log of wood, paralyzed or Alzheimer's or whatever. But deep down, you are still smiling, you say. You are still the pure fire without fuel. The fuel makes the fire flare up. Then you take away the fuel, the fire remains in its soruba. So, na vikarodi, na cheshtade. This is very interesting. Without doing anything, he accomplishes everything. Without going anywhere, goes everywhere. Without wanting anything, he has everything. How is that? I don't want anything, then I have everything. The way to gain everything is not to want anything, you say. Then everybody will come and roll at your feet. So, na cheshtade na vikaroti kinchana. Ayoginivat tadanuvartamana. So, jnada manohangriti vikrayanam. So, without doing anything, he is a knower of manohangriti vikrayanam, all the activities of mind and ego. Dehendriya pranakrita kriyanam. Activities are on that level. Atman is only giving its presence. Or Atman illumines everything. In that light, every activity. When you put on the light, we all are move around, isn't it? When there is no light, we sit till the light comes. Till the light. But somebody has to get up and switch on the light, isn't it? Or the light will have to come by itself. You don't have to move around and hit on the wall and fall and then hurt yourself. Light will come. Wait for some time. So, jnada manohangriti vikriyanam dehendriya pranakrita kriyanam. Ayoginivattan anuvartamanaha. So, this light of consciousness, anuvartamanaha, is entered into the whole world. Not only creates the world, he enters into the whole world. Like what? Ayoginivada, like fire enters into a iron ball. When the fire enters into the iron ball, what happens to the iron ball? Iron ball also becomes shining, heater, lighter. So every molecule in the iron ball is disturbed and excited now when the fire goes. But fire doesn't do anything. When the iron ball is heated up, it's a molecule in the iron ball which constitutes the iron ball is excited. That's the way it is bright and hot to touch and all that. Similarly, consciousness enters, it is not creation, then it enters to everything and making it dynamic and active. So, ayoginivattan anuvartamanaha na cheshtade. So this is the interesting example. The iron ball and the fire. Fire is hot, fire is light, has no particular shape. But the iron ball is a shape which is cold to touch and it's got a shape. When the fire enters the iron ball, the fire also takes upon itself the properties of the iron ball. A shape, and then uses iron ball. An iron ball takes some other properties of the fire. Anyonya dhyasam. Now here is a iron ball. And after some time the fire disappears. Iron ball assumes its old shape, you say. So that distinction between the iron ball and the fire is to be made in our mind. So here you say the body, mind, ego complex is the iron ball. Into that consciousness enters, and now you also are, body, mind also is conscious, appears to be conscious. So jnada manohangrudi vikriyanam dehendriya pranagruda kriyanam ayoginivattananuvartamanaha na cheshtade na vigaroti. That's the key idea, is that na cheshtade na vigaroti. There is no tremor in the self, we say. The self is full, complete, there is no tremor, nothing happens. It is vastu surupatva, that is the fact. The fact is a given fact. It cannot be changed. It doesn't undergo any modification. It is whatever it is. And that you are. So that gives you an idea how to exist in this world. You are like Vishnu. You are in charge of everything, but you do nothing. Unless there is extreme cases, you are not acting. You give enough room to the everyone to make all kind of mistakes. Enough. And you allow them to fight it out. That also is there. Let it fight it out. Give enough room to everybody to express whatever they want. Don't interfere, he said. Because interference, you are disturbing the natural process of evolution. And then by interfering, you are only creating problems. In the name of solving the problem, you are creating more problems. So don't interfere. Let things work out by its own logic and spirit and its unique intelligence. This is the application I am talking. So with this knowledge gives you the art of living and leading your life, where least interference and maximum outcome happens. With this, you may not build a pyramid or a Chinese wall or a Taj Mahal, but you build a beautiful human beings, you say. And you will be the role model of that. So our ultimate objective is create a healthy, happy, wholesome human being. That's what is not happening. I build all those things, but what about the human being? They are all struggling, fighting, and there is no love between them, no understanding. The ultimate product should be a healthy, happy, loving human being. And you are not trying to make another one like that. You yourself become that. That is practical application of this. Can I become a loving, accommodating, understanding human being? Which is the finest product of the whole universe. Human being itself is a beautiful product, isn't it? Jandhunam narajanmadullam, tadapumsto, viprada, all kind of things. So the human being, to be a human being, and to be a wholesome, loving, caring, inclusive human being, that would be the highest and the most beautiful product, not a Taj Mahal or a Chinese wall or a pyramid, you say. Because they were built with the sweat and toil of slaves. That's not, it can be a museum piece, but It doesn't show any greatness about that. Create a human being. You become one like that. So, Jnada manom kriti vikriyanam na vikarodi kinchana. So we have these two ideas, Saguna and Nirguna Brahman. Nirguna Brahman is, without doing anything, they accomplish everything. Continuing. And again, about the Atman. As I told you, this is a continuous meditation upon the Atman. Na jayade no mriyade na vardade. Na kshiyade no vigarodi nitya. Viliyamane vivapushyamusmin Naliyade kumbhaivambaram swayam Najayade no mriyade na vardade Nakshiyade no vigarodi nityaha Viliyamane vivapushyamusmin Naliyade kumbhaivambaram swayam. So this Shankaracharya has mastered all the Veda, Vedanta, Brahma Sutra, Bhagavad Gita. He studied all this. Not only studied, practiced. Not only practiced, he wrote commentaries. Not only wrote commentaries, he taught these commentaries. He created masters out of raw human beings, great, great teachers, and the parampara is still continuing. So, when Shankara writes, it's like ChatGPT. When ChatGPT writes, it collects all the information, isn't it? You and I cannot collect all the information because hundreds of books are there. It's very difficult to go through all the books and find out the essence of this teaching. So you ask ChatGPT, it will collect in a second. Everything is collected and composed, and it will give you the essence of all this. Shankara is like a human ChatGPT. He can collect everything. So there is some repetition. What you see in Bhagavad Gita, you see here. So Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, that sloka is Na jayade mriyadeva kadajit nayam bhutta abhavidavana bhuya ajo nitya shashvadoyam purana na hanyade hanyamane sharire. Upanishad also you find this kind of mantra. So na jayade no mriyade. This is shocking to us. He says you are never born nor will you die. That is absurd, isn't it? How can I believe that? I was celebrating my birthday every year. Now you say you are never born. Meditate on that. This may be against your ordinary way of knowing things. Meditate on that. You are never born. And since you are never born, you never become old or diseased, and you never die also. Na jayade mriyade vakatachi. There is no death for you. There is no birth for you. Since there is no birth for you means you are always there. Not the idanim, now I was born. You are always there as consciousness. Na jayade no mriyade. So think like that. When you think like that, it looks stupid, isn't it? It looks something stupid or against what I see, what I experience. But your experience is very limited. So let us believe in it and organize our life accordingly. So that means you are fearless. I never die. I never become old. I am always young. So na jayade no mriyade na vardade. There is no birth, there is no death, there is no growth. Na vardade. Nakshiyade, there is no decline also. All this happened to the body, not you. No vigarodi nitya. So when you feel this, even at the age of 108 or 120, you feel youthful. Like Bhishma. Bhishma was lying on the bed of arrows, 108. Arrows piercing his body, blood is oozing, and his mouth is dry, and he is hungry and thirsty, and the stench of the battlefield So many dead bodies are lying around. And he is on the bed of arrows. And I tell you a secret, bed of arrows is very comfortable. I tried once in Calicut or somewhere. So they showed me a bed of arrows. I said, what is this? They said, Swami, you try to lie down. It's very acupuncture experience. So normally we think Bhishma was suffering. No, Bhishma is comfortably lying there with an acupuncture experience. So Bhishma is lying there, and then Arjuna and Krishna, Dharmavitra goes and asks, can you give me a lecture on, or some advice on Dharma? And Bhishma went on and on and on and on. Arjuna and Dharmavitra thought, we should not ask this question. This old man is not stopping. On and on and on and on. Because when you talk about Dharma, it's a very interesting topic. You can go on and on. And Bhishma has large knowledge, brahmacharya. Brahmacharya gives him a lot of energy, he says. So, na jayade, no mriyade, na vardhade, na kshiyade, no vikarodi. All these sixfold modification belongs to the body, not you. It belongs to the car, not you. Your car go through this. Viliyamane vibabushas. Even when the body disintegrates, even your mind disintegrates, even your ego disintegrates, even your memory disintegrates. Viliyamane vibabushi amusmin, this body. Naliyade, you don't disintegrate. You are intact. You are intact. Naliyade, you don't disintegrate. Kumbha iva ambaram swayam. Kumbha iva ambaram means the space in the pot. When you create a pot, you say pot space. As the pot space is different from the outer space. Then you break the pot. When you break the pot, what happened to the space in the pot? Nothing happens. It doesn't join the samishti space, it remains like that. The pot, the space in the pot and space outside, actually the pot is in the space. Actually pot is nothing but space. Isn't it? Pot is made up of molecules, molecules made up of atoms. Atoms are 99.99% space. Even the little matter, that also is space. So it's all space, akash. One word used in Brahma Sutra or Upanishad for Atman is akasha. Akasha means avakasha yatra agasham. Akasha is that which accommodates everything. Consciousness is like that. In your consciousness there is a place for everything. Everything exists in your consciousness. So nadiyate kumbhaiva ambaram swayam. Chidambara. Chidambara, that temple. Chit itself is space, you see, like space. Let us read that. Najayade no mriyade na vardade. Nakshiyade no vigarodi nitya. Viliyamane vivapusyamusmin. Naliyade kumbhayivambaram swayam. The pot can break, but not the space in the pot, he says. Pot can break. Because pot is made, it can break, but not the space. The space in the pot doesn't break. So your car can break, but not you. Car can be total, but you don't get total. Total means completely destroyed. Now, prakriti vikriti bhinna shuddha bodha svabhavaha. Sadasajadamashesham Vasayan nirvisheshaha. Vilasati paramatma jagradadishavastasu. Aham ahamidi sakshat sakshi rupena buddhe. Prakriti vikriti bhinna shuddha bodha svabhavaha. Sada asadidam ashesham Vasayan nirvisheshaha. विलसति परमात्मा जाग्रदादिष्वस्थासु अहमहमिति साक्षात् साक्षिरूपेण बुद्धेः. So padachedam, prakriti, vikriti, bhinna, shuddha, bodha, svabhava, sad, asad, idam, ashesham, vasayad, vasayan, nirvishesha, vilasati paramatma, jagrada adishu, avastasu, aham ahamidi, sakshat, sakshirupena buddhe. So Ramana Maharshi, Hridaya Guhara Madhye, Kevalam Jnana Matram, Aham Ahamidi Sakshat, Atma Rubena Bhadi, Hridi Visha Manasa Chinnado Mannado Va, Pavana Chalana Rodhat, Atma Nishto Bhavatum. Same thing here. Prakriti, Vikriti, Bhinna. Other than the Prakriti and its Vikritis, Prakriti, Vikritaya. So Prakriti is Mula Prakriti. Its Vikriti is Mahat, Ahangaram. These are all Vikritis. But Mahat, Ahangaram and Panchabhuta, these are all Vikritis of Prakriti. Vikriti means modification. But these Mahat, Ahangaram and Tanmatras are both Prakriti and Vikriti also. Because they create further things. Panchavasha, Indriyas and all that. So there is 7 Prakriti Vikritis, 1 Prakriti and 16 Vikritis according to Sankhya. So all these Prakriti Vikritis. Prakriti Vikriti Bhinna. I am consciousness is beyond this, other than this. Shuddha Bodha Svabhava. His nature is pure awareness. Sada Asada Idam Ashesham. Idam means this world, which cannot say whether it is Sada or Asada, existence or non-existence, or gross and subtle object. That meaning also is. Sada means gross, Asada means subtle. Gross and subtle object. All this. Sada, Asada, Idam, Ashesham. So the whole universe is called Idam, this. The other is Aham, me. Or it is a pot, like a pot. So Sada, Asada, Idam, Ashesham, completely Bhasayan, illumining Nirvisheshaha. Atman itself has no Vishesha, cannot be qualified, no qualification. It's unqualified consciousness. Nirvisheshaha. Vilasadi Paramatma. The Paramatma Vilasadi shines. Jagradadishavastasu. It is there, it is illumining all the Jagra, Sapna, Sushupti avastas. Aham ahamidi sakshat, sakshi rupena buddhe. So, aham ahamidi, I experience. Buddhe sakshi, witnessing the activities of the Buddhi. Sakshat sakshi. It illumines the sakshi. Aham ahamidi. We are talking about you and you are staring at me, isn't it? I am talking about you. It seems that you have a clue about this nature of yours. Clueless. You are wondering, what is this Swami talking about? We are talking about you. So, aham ahamidi sakshat sakshi rupena buddhehi. He is a great witness of all activities of the mind. Continuing. Niyamida manasamum swam Niyamida manasamum tvam swatmama swam atmatmanam swam atmatmanam atmani ayam ahamidi sakshat viddhi buddhi prasadad Jani maranagarangamara samsara sindhum Pradara bhava kritartho brahma rupena samstaha. So let us see the padachedam. Niyamida manasa amum, atmanam, tvam, swam, atmanam, atmani, ayam, aham, iti, sakshad, vidhi, buddhi, prasadat. Jani marana taranga apara samsara sindhu pradara bhava krudartha brahma rupena samstha. Sanskrit, when you read, the beauty of Sanskrit that you feel very energized. When Sanskrit words pass through you, because when you read Sanskrit you have to use your stomach. Words should come from the stomach and touch all parts of the body. It is not just uttered from the lips or the tongue or the throat. You have to express it from the stomach. It is om, I, O. Everything you exercise the stomach. All the vowels. I, O, Au, Ha. These words have to be extracted from the stomach, he said. So, when you read Sanskrit literature or utter these words, para, pashandi, madhyama, vaigari, all that. So, it has to be extracted from the stomach and it touches through various parts of the vocal cord and finally your lips are involved, your teeth are involved, your larynx is involved, your throat is involved, and your heart is involved, your stomach is involved. When you utter Sanskrit words, it's an exercise. And sometimes your hand also involved. When Nambudiri chant, then their hand, your leg, the whole body participate in chanting. It's a very healing experience. You may not know the meaning of these Vedic mantras. Actually, Vedic mantra doesn't have an external meaning. Their purpose is to internalize your attention. Om. And I say Om. What is the external meaning? There's an external meaning in that. Om. Om is a vibration. The whole universe is a vibration. It's a vibration in consciousness. Therefore, Om, your attention is taken inward, deep, all the way down to the oceanic consciousness. So Sanskrit is such a beautiful language. Its pronunciation, utterance, all that gives you the healing experience. So that's why mantra. When you are sick, chant the mantra. When you want something to happen, chant the mantra. When you want to do something profound, chant the mantra. So mantra chanting can reorganize your body and your mind and create effect in the world. So that's why when you read all this, prakriti vikriti bhinna shuddha bodha svabhavaha sad asadidam ashesham bhasayan nirvisheshaha vilasadi paramatma jagradadishavastasu aham aham iti sakshat sakshi rupena buddhehe. So the aham. So Shiva is said ahanta, the mahat aham. Shiva is the samashti aham. Vibhu. Then he becomes Anu. Just for a play. Shiva constricts himself, hides himself in the body, mind, ego complex. Then he reveals himself. As I told you, it's hide and seek. Shiva is hiding in the body, mind, ego, and nobody discovers him. So Shiva himself makes the noise. And then he realizes himself. So vilasadi paramatma jagrada adishravastasu aham aham iti sakshat. And some people only say aham, 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 aham. Shivam, shivam, shivam. Soham, soham, soham. Hamsa, hamsa, hamsa. Only that mantra, nothing else. Soham, aham, soham, hamsa, shivam, hamsa. Only that. So aham ahamiti sakshat sakshi rupena buddhe. He is the witness of all activities of the mind and the mind projected world. Continuing. Niyamita manasamum tum swamatmanam atmani ayam ahamiti sakshat viddhi buddhi prasadad jani marana garankapara samsara sindhum pradara bhavatrudartho brahma rupena samstaha. So that way it is niyamita manasa, by a organized mind, through yoga, chanting, pranayama, karma yoga, organize your mind. Niyamita manasa, amum, swam. Niyamita manasa, amum, atmanam, this atma. Tum, you, the seeker. Swam atmanam, atmani. Ayam ahamiti sakshat viddhi. Very interesting. So atmanam atmani is saying. So the self, atmanam, Satchidananda atmanam, atmani in the buddhi guhaya, in your mind, pure mind. So atmani means in the pure mind. Atmanam means Satchidananda atmanam. Ayam ahamiti, this is me. This atman is me. I am ahamidi sakshat viddhi. This is my true nature. Viddhi, you realize. Viddhi. Buddhi prasadad. So sakala dosha shunya buddhi, he said. The buddhi, that's a blessing of your buddhi. The viveka buddhi. Buddhi prasada. So how is that? So mind is pure. In that pure mind, you are seeing yourself reflected, let's say. Seeing yourself, that pure. Buddhi prasada. So that pure mind is necessary for realizing the Atma. Thus, jani marana taranga apara samsara sindhum. This samsara, which is full of birth and death and appearance and disappearance, that kind of samsara, apara samsagaram, said, shoreless ocean. Shoreless ocean. And you are there, drowning. You can cross the other shore, he said. Apara samsara sindhum pradara. Pradara means cross. Bhava kridartaha, and become fulfilled, he said. Brahma rupena samstha. How do you become fulfilled? Realizing your nature is Brahman. So, remain as Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. But I don't feel so. Then you repeat it. Repeat Aham Brahmasmi. Repeat it. But I am bored with repeating Brahmasmi. Then suffer, you say. There's no other way. The option is suffer. If you don't want to suffer, repeat this with conviction, faith, trust, shraddha, and all that. Aham Brahmasmi. And you are not becoming Brahman, fortunately. If you are becoming Brahman, then it's a problem. That means you have a choice. I can decide to, like you, Ashwamedha. Veda says, perform this Ashwamedha. You have a choice. You may do, you may not do. But being Brahman, we have no choice, unfortunately. You cannot unbecome or become Brahman. No choice. It's a choiceless consciousness, as I say, whether you want it or not. One day, in your long journey, Bhagavunam janmanamande jnanavan mam prabadyade vasudeva sarvamidhi. I am like a fish in the ocean, searching for the ocean. Now I realize I have always been the ocean. I never moved away from that. I am okay now, he says. So, Bhagavunam janmanamande jnanavan mam prabadyade vasudeva sarvamidhi. Some Mahatma Sudurlabha. So this is not a choice actually. It's not a choice that you make. It has been your nature. So choicelessly you are Brahman. One day you have to realize this. Maybe it may take centuries or so many births. But ultimately you have to realize, I have always been Brahman. Not now I become Brahman. What is meaning Brahman? Happiness. Happiness. Fearlessness. That's all Brahman is all about. So you have always been there. You are unnecessarily going around. So aham iti sashat buddhi prasadad jani marana tarangabhara samsara sindhum pradara bhavakrudartaha brahma rupena samstha. You remain as Brahman. So Shankara calls it vastudantratvad. Brahman is a given fact. You don't have to do anything to become Brahman. If you do something to become Brahman, you will only move away. You don't realize. You have to realize I am Brahman. Not that I was Brahman, I will become Brahman. Or I choose to be Brahman. No. No choice at all. You have to realize my nature is Brahman. Any objection to that? Any objection? No, I rebel. I don't want to be Brahman. I am tired of being Brahman and release me from Brahman. Not possible, he said. You have no choice. Choice. Continuing. Atranatmanyahamidi madi bandha eshosya pumsaha prapto jnanat janana marana klesha sampada heduhu yene vayam vaburidam asad satyamityatma buddhya pushyadi uchshadi avadi vishayehi tandubihi koshagrud keshakrudvad. So, padachedam. Atra anatmani aham idi madihi dandaha eshaha asya pumsa praptaha ajnanad janana marana klesha sambada hedu yena eva ayam vabuhu idam asad satyam idi atma buddhya pushyadi utshadi avadi vishayehi tandubihi koshakrudvad. So, atra anatmani ahamedi madihi bandaha. The definition of bondage, suffering. This body which is anatma, which is an object, you embrace it and say, this is me. This body is me. And nothing more than. So, I am the food that I eat. Body is a modified food, isn't it? So, I am just a body, there is nothing. That's all what I experience. So, that's called anatma, not self. Because you see it. It comes and goes. It is subject to illness, old age, and final disintegration. So, this anatmani ahamidi madihi bandaha. An identification with that and getting lost in the appetites of the body is bondage, you say. Then you feel old, exhausted, feeling mortality. So ahamidi, aham anatmani ahamidi madihi bandaha eshasya pumsa. This individual. The individual thinks he is old, thinks he is sick, thinks he is lost, all because of the identification with the body. And when did it start? Anadi, you say. It has been there. It has been there. You took it as a fact. You never challenged that common assumption, you say. You have to challenge. If something painful, you have to challenge it. Don't immediately rush for a medicine. Where is this pain happen? What is the locus of that? Who is suffering? There should be a thorough 360-degree diagnosis about that. Without that, we are rushing for solution. Because you have some answers you are ready to give. So don't rush for solution. Understand the problem and see what is the source of that. So this way when you look at, there is no problem, he says. And hence Bhagavan says, Ashauchyan Annashojastum. You are unnecessarily weeping, crying, complaining, accusing. For no rhyme or reason. So, Anatmani Ahamidi Madihi Bendaha Yashasyam. This bondage of this person is because of his unintelligent embrace of the body. Body is only a vehicle, we have seen that. Don't give it more importance. So as a result of that, this identification of the body, praptaha ajnanad, because you have forgotten about yourself. You are in that state of amnesia, spiritual amnesia, forgotten about yourself. And then you are settling for whatever is available. So, praptaha ajnanad. And then janana marana klesha sambada heduhu. As a result of that, you think, I am born, I am becoming old, and I will die. Marana bhayam. Though you say, Bhagavan, please lift me, please lift me. But when Bhagavan comes, you don't want to go. Bhagavan sends Yama, okay, lift it. No, not yet. My daughter is to be married. I have 5 more years to serve, and all kind of things, excuses you give. Otherwise you say, Pahimam, Trahimam, lift me, lift me, lift me. Okay, I am going to send the crew to lift you. No, not now. So, Janana Marana Klesha Sambhada Hedu. That's how you acquire all this klesha, suffering. Yena eva ayam vabuhu idam satyamidi atma buddhya. Because you take this vabu, this body, is the only truth. There is a huge philosophy in the West, phenomenological philosophy. Body is the only truth. And everything is centered around the body. Big philosophy. Academic and PhDs and all that. Body is the only truth. An embodied experience, lived embodied experience. That's big philosophy. So, but Vedanta is going the other way. Vedanta says body experience is limited. The experiencer of the body is the object of our inquiry, not the body which is experienced. And our general understanding is the body is perishable. That's not our real nature. So, yena eva ayam vabuhu, this vabu, this body, idam asat satyamidi atma buddhya. And you take this to be your real nature, the body. Then you say, I am short, I am tall, I am fair, I am black, I am brown, I am man, I am woman, blah, blah, all those things happens, he says. So, I am in the Atma Buddhya. And then you are worshipping the body. Pushyadi. You feed the body, overfeed the body. Overfeed the body. Then payasam comes, then laddu comes, then jalebi comes. Then this comes, that comes, then you want to eat all that. Then ice cream, then Coca-Cola, then coffee, everything is there. And you cannot resist. Before I die, I have to eat all this. You have to pack everything into this poor body, you say. Body says, no, what do you want? So packing this short life, all those things. And pushyadi, uchshadi means nourishes, paints, all kind of painting on the body. Pushyadi, avadi, then at all costs protect the body. Protect the body. And you take to any means, become extremely violent. You play the game of predator and prey. You run behind your prey and you run away from your predator. Isn't it? So life is spent like this. Atmabuddhya, Uchadi, Avadi, Vishayehi, Tandubihi. So Vishayehi, objects. You surround yourself with many objects. Look at your basement of the house, your closet, your wardrobe, your shoe rack. Unnecessary things are being occurred. And there are people I have seen early in the morning, they have to place some order in the Amazon. Whether you need it or not doesn't matter. It has become a disease. I must place an order in the Amazon. Maybe a pin, maybe a safety pin. For that also you place an order. Poor Amazon people bring a box. What is that? What safety pin? That's all what you are ordering. But you have to obsessively, compulsively order. It has become a disease now. And it is very easy, just use the cell phone. Amazon people bring a big box. What is inside? A safety pin, he says. Or something else. So this way, Vishayehi, by unnecessary objects you are surrounding yourself, meditating on that, spending your money on that. Koshavrit, Koshakruda, he says. Tantubihi Koshakruda. Koshakruda means the silkworm. The silkworm, in its excitement, produces silk. There's a 14 yards of silk is produced in one night. When it's very productive day, the silkworm. And silkworm is covering with the silk, producing it. And what happens as a result at the end of the day? The sericulturist come, put the silkworm in the hot water, he takes the silk and silkworm dies. So with all the money you have gathered, who is enjoying it? Somebody else. Somebody else. You don't enjoy anything because you are so much busy with the buying, accumulating, thinking that I will enjoy, but nothing happens. So you become like a silkworm. You are put into the hot water at the end of the day, like a silkworm. Koshakara, Koshakara. It's a very, very interesting apt description of our state. Continuing, Adasmin tad buddhi prabhavadi vimudasya tamasa Viveka bhavad vaispuradi pujagere judhirana Tado nartavrado nipadadi samadhaduradhikaha tadoya asadgraha sahibhavadi bandha shunusaghe. Ultimately, Shankara says, Saghe, my friend, this is your problem, you say. My friend, this is your problem. What's my problem? Already been explained. You are embracing the body, that's your problem. You are not distancing yourself from the body. The body is occupying all your time. Pushyadi, Ushyadi, Avati. Paint the body, feed the body, protect the body. And which is an impossible task. However you cover the body with perfume, it stings. Isn't it? It stings. However you try to protect the body, it will perish within your grip. However you try to become young looking, through all that you look very old these days. Isn't it? So therefore, don't identify with the body. Saghe, my good friend. You are my, so Shishya is called good friend. You are my friend. We are co-passengers. So please listen to me. Okay, let us integrate all this wisdom. Because so much information. So let us look at this, the body and me, or I. Either you can say, I am just a body, or you can say, I am the knower of the body. Apparently it seems you are just a body, apparently. Because when the body disintegrates, you are not there, apparently. But while you are having this body, use this body to realize the self, that immortal, unborn self. By acutely observing the body. So be the observer of the body. And do whatever necessary to maintain the body as long as it lasts. When its shelf life is over, you have to abandon the body. Trash. That's called the final exit strategy. One day you have to vacate this body. So sometimes it is said, some of the Mahatmas say, your whole life is a training to vacate the body. And when you are ready to vacate the body, probably you may be able to continue to live in this body for some more time. So finally Shankaracharya pinned down the problem. The problem is your extreme attachment to the physical body, as though there is nothing more. And there are great philosophers championing this idea, from Indian Charvakas, Lokayatas, to Western phenomenological philosophers. So finally, spiritual practice is detachment from the body, and then relate with the body. Detach engagement with the body. Treating the body as a vehicle. To take care of the vehicle, put petrol and clean it up and see all the parts are intact. Nothing more than that. So Vapushi, Anatmani, Asadi, Ahambuddhi. As Patanjali says, Nitya Sukha Shuchi Atma. You forget that. And you take yourself to be Anitya, Dukkha, Ashuji Atma. Because body is Ashuji, source of misery, and it is Anitya. So you are meditating upon these words and their meaning. So you are not abandoning the body, you are only putting the body in its place. You put the car in the garage, you don't drive it in your bedroom. You put the broomstick in a corner. You don't lay it on the bed. So that is a fundamental viveka we want to practice. And it gives you enormous energy. And it can heal your body, make it look younger. But that's only a byproduct. And you will feed the body, but you don't overfeed it. You will make the body work, but don't overwork. You make the body exercise, but not too much exercise. All moderation. You make the body sleep, but not too much sleep. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.